Hey, it's Zoe. I want to welcome you back or welcome you for the first time. And listen, go ahead, get comfortable, pour yourself a tea or maybe a glass of sparkling water, whatever your vibe is, so you can settle in. Because we're going to have a very honest, very beautiful conversation today. I want to talk to you about something that I see so many brilliant, stunning women struggling with. You might even have recognized this in yourself. Okay. Have you ever walked into a room? Maybe it was a really important networking event, a boardroom where you were about to pitch, or even an elegant dinner party, right? Knowing, now you knew you looked absolutely flawless. I'm talking about you can hear the Beyonce theme song in your head because you spent an hour getting ready. Your hair was perfect. You wore the outfit that makes you feel incredible. You looked in the mirror before you left the house and you thought, she ready, right? But then you walked into the room and nothing. Absolutely nothing. You felt entirely unseen. You spoke, but your ideas didn't seem to land. You probably felt like you was fading back into the wallpaper. Meanwhile, another woman walks in, and she isn't necessarily wearing anything extraordinary, right? Her hair could probably just be pulled back, real simple, very plain. But the moment that she enters, the energy of the room shifts. People turn their heads. People want to hear what she has to say. People respond to her. And then you find yourself wondering, okay, what does she have that I don't? I have the credentials, I have the look. Why am I not being heard? Listen, girl, I'm going to tell you exactly what she has. She has presence. People don't respond to your beauty and they do not respond to your resume alone. They respond to your presence. We're taught from a very young age that if we want to be magnetic, if we want to be successful, if we want to be chosen, whether for a promotion or a partnership, then we need to only focus on our exterior and our output. We're sold a million different products to perfect our appearance, and then we're told we got to work endlessly on our qualifications. We work on our makeup, we work on our deliverables, we work on the surface, but we very rarely, if ever, work on our energy. Beauty and credentials, I want you to think of it like a photograph. So they're static, right? They are two dimensional. Presence, I want you to think of it as being cinematic. It's how you move through space. It's the invisible current that runs through you and connects to everyone around you. And that is going to signal to the room that you are a woman worth listening to. When you learn how to shift that energy when you walk into the room, unstoppable, undeniable. When you solely rely on your appearance or your sheer competence, you're going to be constantly anxious. You're constantly adjusting, or maybe you're always checking the mirror or wondering if you use the right jargon, wondering if your lipstick has faded. Girl, doing all that keeps you trapped in your head, worrying about how you're being perceived by your boss, your clients, or your date. When you're trapped in your head, you are completely disconnected from your body. And that is where presence lives. Presence lives in the body. So let's talk about the nervous system because this is the foundation of everything. Your nervous system is the control center of your energy. When you walk into a high stakes meeting or a crowded room and you're anxious, or when you're desperate to be liked or validated, that nervous system is going to be in a state of dysregulation. You are then going to be in fight, flight, or freeze. And here's the fascinating thing about human beings. Our nervous systems communicate with each other before we ever say a single word, and it's called co regulation. So, if your nervous system is buzzing with anxiety and insecurity, the people around you will unconsciously pick up on that frequency. They're going to feel unsettled around you, even if they can't explain why. They won't feel confident in your leadership or drawn to your energy, but they will feel an instinct to kind of pull away. So, when your nervous system is regulated, when you are deeply grounded, when you feel safe in your own body, when you are not trying to prove anything to anybody, you emit a frequency of calm, magnetic power. And that's where you want to live because people are drawn to a regulated nervous system. In a chaotic world that we live in, whether in business or in life, a woman who is deeply at peace within herself, baby, is the most intoxicating thing in the room. People will gravitate towards you simply because being in your energy field makes them feel secure. One of my favorite compliments is when people tell me that I have good energy. And that's why. So, how do we begin to cultivate this? How do we move from a dysregulated, anxious state into a deeply grounded magnetic presence? Well, it begins with emotional regulation. You have to learn how to anchor yourself. Before you walk into a boardroom or before you step onto a stage, before you sit down for that important conversation, you must take a moment to regulate your internal state. This isn't about forcing yourself to be happy or faking confidence. We don't do any of that over here. But this is about finding your center and knowing what that feels like for you. All right. I want you to try something the next time that you feel that, that little flutter of anxiety we feel from time to time. I want you to feel your feet on the floor. Yeah, like actually feel the ground supporting you, not metaphorically, not just the cute little saying, put your feet on the floor. No, actually do it and feel the ground. Then I want you to take a breath. Now, not the everyday breathing that we do. You need to take that breath that expands your belly, not just your chest. You know, the kind that they taught us to do in choir, right? For those of you that were in choir, either at church or, in the school choir, breathe from your belly, from your diaphragm. Then I want you to slow your heart rate down. Okay? Tell your body, I'm safe. I belong exactly where I am. When you master your internal state, you master your external reality. Now, once your nervous system is anchored, then we can look at the physical manifestations of presence. So let's talk about body language. When a woman lacks presence, she physically shrinks. Have you seen that before? She rounds her shoulders over her laptop, or she crosses her arms, or she just tries to take up as little space as possible, right? She could be moving quickly and erratically as if she's apologizing for taking up the room's time. But a woman with presence does not apologize for taking up space. She owns her space. She moves with a deliberate, unhurried grace. Think of a queen or a truly visionary leader. She does not rush. She does not fidget. When you move slowly and intentionally, you signal to the world that your time is valuable and that you're in control and that you belong at the table. I want you to notice your posture right now. Are you collapsing inward? Tell the truth. If you are, it's fine. Just open your chest. Let those shoulders drop. And then I want you to imagine a string pulling you gently upward from the crown of your head. This isn't just about looking elegant, it actually changes the chemistry of your brain. When you expand your posture, you actually decrease cortisol. You physically tell your body that you are powerful. And then there's the voice. Your voice is your signature. It's how you project your spirit into the world. So many women, when they feel insecure or intimidated, pitch their voices up. They speak from their throats like this. Their voice is thin and breathy and ending their sentences like a question. We all know that one, right? But presence requires a voice that comes from the diaphragm. It requires resonance. It requires you to speak slowly, clearly, and with conviction. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be heard. I promise you. In fact, sometimes dropping the volume of your voice, speaking softly but with absolute certainty, forces people to lean in. It commands attention without demanding it. When you speak, let your words land. Don't rush to fill the silence. A woman with presence is deeply comfortable with silence. She allows her words to kind of hang in the air. She allows the other person then to absorb what she has said. Silence is a power move. It shows that you're not desperate for validation. And then finally, eye contact. Eye contact is the bridge between two souls. When you avoid eye contact, looking down at your notes or your phone, you're hiding. Or you can also have a perimenopausal brain and you need your notes to remember what you need to say. But either way, you are saying, I don't feel worthy of holding this room. So when you look at someone in the eye and you hold their gaze, you're saying now, okay, I see you and I'm comfortable being seen by you. It's incredibly intimate and incredibly powerful. Now, this doesn't mean staring intensely and making people uncomfortable and being weird. It means a soft, confident gaze. It means being fully present with the person in front of you. When you're speaking to someone, I want you to give them the gift of your undivided attention. In a world where everyone is looking past each other, looking for the next best thing, a woman who gives her full, unbroken presence is unforgettable. I want you to imagine combining all of these elements. You walk into a room, your nervous system is regulated and calm, your posture is open and expansive, you move with unhurried grace, you speak with a resonant, grounded voice, you meet people's eyes with warmth and confidence. That is presence. And I guarantee you, it is 1,000 times more captivating than any dress you can ever wear or any title you can hold. Listen, beauty fades. Resumes are just paper, but presence is a skill. And it's an art form. It's something that you cultivate, refine, and deepen over time. It's a power that nobody can ever take away from you. And here's the beautiful truth. Presence is really just the beginning. Mastering your energy, your body language, your voice, this is just one pillar. It's the foundation of how you show up in the world. But to truly become the most magnetic, powerful, and radiant version of yourself, you need a comprehensive system. Okay? I'm not going to lie to you. You need a little bit more than just those things. You need to refine not just your presence, but also your mindset, your communication, your emotional intelligence, and your entire way of being. And really, honestly, that's why I created the Academy. The House of Zokai Academy is a much larger, deeply transformative refinement system designed for women who are ready to step into their highest expression. So inside, we don't just talk about this stuff, okay? We practice them. We embody the concepts. We do the deep foundational work that transforms you from the outside in. Now, if you're tired of feeling unseen, if you're tired of relying on your exterior only or your sheer hard work to do the heavy lifting, if you're ready to cultivate a presence that commands the room the moment you walk in, I invite you to join us. If you feel led, the link will be in the description below. You are already beautiful. You are already capable. Now it's time to become undeniable. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Practice your presence this week, okay? Anchor your nervous system, own your space, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay elegant, stay grounded, and remember your power.